you're reducing the variables that could lead to error. So if you want to win, just follow these tips and practice a bunch. Or you could just go with my route. So then when you're all done dominating, or if you think one of the workers might be getting suspicious, you can just pick up the backpack at any point and walk away with a bunch of tickets on your card. Up next is one of my personal favorites, basketball. In this case, the backpack is being used just to smuggle the special mechanism inside. Because to the untrained eye, this is just a normal basketball, when in fact, it's a robot in disguise. Now before I show you exactly how it works, you first need to understand how these games work. Just underneath each rim is an infrared laser and a detector. And then on the front of the rim, on the other side of that metal plate, is a reflector. So when the laser beam shines straight forward, it bounces off the reflector, and then the sensor's like, yep, I can see the beam. So when a ball goes through the hoop, it breaks the beam, and the sensor's like, aha, I didn't see it for a second. At which point it tells the game to add 2 points to your total, because that means you must have scored. In engineering, we call this a beam break detector, and it's the exact same concept you have as a safety feature on your garage door. So if you really want to destroy the high score here, the ball needs to break the beam, then somehow get out of the way so the beam reconnects, and then come back and break the beam again over and over again as fast as possible. But if you think about it, the whole ball doesn't need to actually get out of the way, just the part in front of the beam itself. And how might you do that? Well, one way is to 3D print the bottom hemisphere of a basketball in 2 parts attached together through some linear guide rods, then add a battery, microcontroller, and servo motor so the bottom part of the shell can translate up and down. This way it would reconnect the beam and then break it over and over again and register 2 points every time that happened. Now you just need a way to grab the rim so you can hang out there while you perform these shenanigans. And if you had some pneumatic pistons connected to a mini pressure intake controlled by a solenoid valve triggered by an RF remote, then you could shoot the ball normally, and then with one push of a button, piston rods would shoot out and grab the rim, and then once mischief was managed, you trigger the remote again and they would retract. Now if you just add another 3D printed hemisphere on top, then glue on the actual basketball skin, then when you put it all together, it would look something like this. Now if you don't happen to have a robo ball, here's a few tips that will help you get the high score for this game. Now the most important thing is you never want to waste time waiting for a ball to roll down to you. And since these games normally come in pairs, just swipe your card on both games and then temporarily borrow the second set of balls. Now this should give you plenty more than you need, so just keep the balls that are the least inflated. Now you start the game and get into a rhythm where you finish your shot with one hand and then start grabbing or replacing the ball with your other hand before your first shot has even gone in. Or if the rim is close and you want to get really extreme, you can just go with a two-handed shooting strategy like this guy. But even that strategy is no match for my spherical transformer, because when I'm ready to go, I just shoot the ball with one hand and then hit the remote